We are live. Hey. Oh, we just making sure everybody here. Hey, why I feel like I'm old doing this. Like, what is this? Why you got me on the internet doing this? Why you got me? What's the new dance? I'm supposed to be the kids taught me this at the school. I'm supposed to do something like up here and then like go here and then like down, and then something like this. Never mind. Let me just stop.
You.
I'm gonna have to ask them to reteach me the dance tomorrow because I don't. It didn't stick like
That's
I
what
thought it was going to, which is a daggone
and
shame. Because
it's too many counts. Too many counts.
yeah, it's like I just prefer to twerk. I just twerk the Beethoven trap. You know what I'm saying? Go like that's anyway. That is not the topic.
It's not.
Hey y'all. We are live streaming on both Facebook and YouTube. Shout out to my followers that are on Facebook and those of you that are also on YouTube. I love that you are here. I love you are here catching this energy. I'm about to go ahead and make sure it's live streaming on Facebook and also put it in Let the Wound Be Heard because I don't need y'all missing it. I don't need y'all missing it. Right. And I know y'all looking for it. So just let me go ahead and drop it over there. When you have connected with us live, go ahead and drop your location and greet us in the chat. We're going to talk about some bloodline blessings because I'm sick of hearing everybody talk about the bloodline curses. I'm sick of hearing everybody talk about the bloodline curses. Okay. So here's what I know. I know for a fact that if we actually change ourselves, we break generational patterns. I see Olivia in the chat. Hey, boo. Hey. We are excited to see you too. I see Anya. I see some other sisters popping in the chat showing love. Oh, girl, they said we pretty. They said we beautiful.
Oh, hey.
That's with no filter.
I'm kind of dodge out here.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
You better go ahead and
FBI
make us
in the book.
feel good if you feel like it. I'm a reflection of you.
Absolutely. And if I shine, you shine. I understand.
It's a family affair. Put that in the chat. It's a family
for you.
affair.
Yeah. Just happy to. Something like that.
I can do this one. Hold on. I can do, what is it? It's like this, something like that. Why am I like this on the internet? I have no shame whatsoever, and that's the
And we
blessing.
shouldn't.
That's the advantage. So anyway, listen. Bloodline blessings. What's the one thing that you can do that will not only change your life, but those coming behind you? Get yourself together.
Yeah.
How do you get yourself together? You have to change your self concept. And I promise you, there's going to be a million things in your life to invite you to think low of yourself, to think that the odds are stacked against you, to think that you can't, shoulda, coulda, woulda. And if you ascribe to that, you will get those outcomes. I see the WCOE fan represent. I'm seeing the hashtags in the chats. I love it. Listen, your life is following your truth about yourself. That's where we're going to get into the sweet spot tonight. So let me go ahead and introduce ourselves. Most of you are familiar with us, but we got a growing audience. Nemesis is back in her full-blown visibility on the internet and the marketplace. She basically is saying, you can hate me now. But I won't stop. Right? So this incredible soul and I actually connected through social media. Has it been a year? I feel like it has.
It has been a year.
And we connected in our triumph of dealing with shady, trifling bitches. Okay. And so I just thank God that our mirrored experiences allowed us to find each other. Tell them who you are and what your movement is and why you out here in these streets ruffling feathers.
Okay, so I am Nemesis for those who don't know. For those who know me, I am, I'm that ratchet chick, but I keep it real with you. Um, my movement is Nemesis and Company. Nemesis is the Greek goddess who balances the scale. If you are good, she rewards good. If you are bad, she rewards bad. She is the goddess of retribution. So,
Everybody put
how I'm
retribution
divvying
in
things, right, you understand? And how I'm divvying it out here in these streets is that I'm no longer allowing the community to hurt and harm people, whether you are an elder, whether you are a priest or priestess. If I see it, I'm saying something about it. There is no more just sitting back and allowing things to continue to happen because there is no more casualties under my eye. There's no
that.
more. It's holding people accountable and holding them responsible. So my movement is in the spiritual community and in our regular own community that we are making changes here to help plenty of people, plenty of families, not just with the bad things that are going on, but also to help you to heal yourself as well, so that you're able to see these things for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
And how do
So,
they stay in touch with you? How can they keep up with all the things you offer? Because she has so many tools and resources to keep you grounded and rooted. So tell them how to follow you and stay in touch.
well, you guys can follow me on Instagram or Facebook. On Facebook is Kire Moeshu, which literally translates to the child of Eshu doesn't give up and doesn't relent.
I
Or you
love
can follow me on Instagram at Nemesis and Company. Or you can also follow me on YouTube, again at Nemesis and Company. And if you ever, like I tell all my sisters who come to me, it ain't even about money. If you ever just need to vent or you need somebody to talk to or you have nobody else to turn to, reach out to me at email at Nemesis and Company at gmail.com. And I promise you I will answer as quickly as I can.
All right, let's get into it, Nemesis. Let's get the people what they came for.
They
When you
came,
hear
man.
when you hear bloodline blessings, like why is this so important right now? Like the world is changing before our eyes. It's so much movement, so much energy, right? People are being forced on some level to reconsider their career, their
Mhm.
finances, their
Even their
marriages,
marriages.
their health, right? It's like I've been talking to people, you know the work I do, right? I'm hearing people say,
Mhm.
like, it doesn't matter what area of my life I'm looking at, I'm getting a big memo right now that I must change. It's
Yep.
inevitable. Why is it so loud? That's the first question. And how does this tie into the work we as women need to do in our bloodline?
Well, start with the first one. You were mentioning how like what's causing it. There is a shift, a major shift taking place right now in both men and women, but more so if you're a person who follows the divine feminine, divine masculine trend, you understand the divine feminine. This is her year of rebirth, and also separation.
Mhm,
There is no more being confused about her identity and who she is. So those who have not stepped into that energy of the divine feminine, who those who have not done the healing work, those who have not done um, the work they need to elevate, it's going to show.
yes.
And unfortunately, there may be a psychosis shift as well. You will see mental breakdowns happening. You will start to see
Oh,
people who have not done the work. It'll start to show in their mental health. People who have been at jobs who have been higher up start losing their minds, literally, because
mhm,
this is the year where the divine feminine either you step into it or you get left behind,
mhm.
and it
It's
is
big
becoming
holy mother
dangerous.
energy. It's big
Yeah,
holy mama energy.
yeah,
It
very
is
big.
Everybody's saying this. I was literally listening to a reel on IG yesterday, and this therapist was saying, I hate to say it, but we did not get the results from bringing awareness to mental health that we thought we were going to get. Instead, people began to use their narrative of trauma and being diagnosed with certain things as a crutch, as the reason that they cannot function at a higher level. And Sis was just breaking down how actually it's not going to work. Then I heard another brother on the gram who was dropping it. He was like, Black people right now upset, but nobody is coming to save you or rescue you from what you have refused to address and face in your life. It's up. Put that in the comments. It's up.
It's up.
If you are
It's
looking for
up.
salvation, if you are looking for reparations, if you are looking for deliverance, if you are looking for a breakthrough, you might want to get pen and paper and write down the blueprint, because it's on you.
On you.
And the
It's on
days
you
of
this
being
time.
able to bob and weave and bypass, this is not a dispensation of grace. And it doesn't mean that you are not loved. It doesn't mean that you are not worthy. It doesn't even mean that you are not ready. But if you don't correct your self concept, you are going to loop. And you're just going to
Yeah.
have this sensation of wholeness and healing. It's just going to look good. You're going to shed 10
That's
pounds and put
what
it
it
back.
is.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to look okay. It's going to look like you up. But
Right.
in this year, this Saturn year, this 9 year, this I'm your mother, I know everything about you year,
Yeah.
it ain't going to work. And
And
so,
it's been too much unbalance. Too
yeah, and it's
much.
throwing the whole world off, honestly.
Yeah. It is. And this
Nature
year,
always gives you a lick back. She will always
yeah.
correct.
And this year it falls on the women. We have to be accountable for the things that we have done that led it up to this point, whether it's our great grandmothers and the decisions that they made. As we step into the other part of your question, um, it's like when when do we decide to go against the grain?
Mm.
Are we going to continue to keep pacifying it and saying it's okay and the habitual habit is okay and everything is okay? Why can't things be great? Why are we still sitting down and settling for subpar okay?
Mm.
Things can be great if we do the work and we acknowledge what's actually going on in our own homes and also outside our own front doors. And
Mm.
also in our personal relationships with our friends, our family, and our loved ones, the women.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we stop holding other women accountable for their actions and crimes against other women, we'll bring about balance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Not only
also
that,
not just balance,
but
but elevation into being divine feminine.
mm-hmm.
Or are you gonna stay
because
stuck being a karma fire?
yeah.
Like,
Because the other layer of that too is you can't heal what you're not honest about.
mhm.
So, what we've seen with the sisters, the ladies, is the avatars, right? We will present what we think is going to attract the outcomes and the blessings that we want. But the need to change, the need to face yourself, to really look at your life and how you're living it, it is a blessing, even though it's uncomfortable. And I want to get into the meat of. Hold on one second. Zah, open the dishwasher because I think it's beeping. I think it's finished. Thank you, Don. Okay, no problem. So, nobody can see you, but you can close the door. She was like, I just don't want nobody to see me tonight on the internet. Okay.
Leave my baby alone.
That's
Leave
my
my
bad.
baby
Yeah, I'm
alone
gonna stick
today.
beside her. But listen,
Baby.
let's get into the anatomy of a pattern, right? Because
Yeah.
I was getting a temperature for this conversation as we was preparing for it, and I was posting some stuff and Let the Wound Be Heard on our Facebook group. And I noticed how when I started talking about that mama wound, Nemesis, ooh, baby.
Mhm. Yeah.
So let's look at what happens when you are raised by a woman who couldn't fulfill her dreams. When you
A
were
karmic
raised
mother.
by a woman who was exhausted every day.
Yeah.
And how does that form your own addiction to the soft life and just wanting relief because you didn't get the nurturing that you needed from your mother? And now you want a lifestyle that you don't know how to earn because the reward is tied to the work, not your intentions. It's not even tied to your worth, it's tied to production. Nature teaches us this: a seed must go in the ground and germinate for a harvest. No seed, no harvest. So what happens, Nemesis, when you're raised by an exhausted mother who doesn't have the bandwidth to model to you her feminine power in the way that manifests the life that she wants for herself? What does that do to your psyche?
Well, for younger girls, you start developing poor self-esteem.
Mm,
You also become lazy yourself. You don't want to follow your own dreams. You feel like following your own dreams would be too much. You constantly fight for attention, affection, the things that should be given to you as a child, like even being nurtured. Um, you also find yourself dealing with a lot of mental anguish, you know, depression,
mm,
overeating, weight gain, self and identity issues as well.
mhm,
When you're growing up with a mom who's constantly exhausted by life, by the world, by whatever reason it may be, and she never even nurtured the gifts that you have.
mm,
So you end up having to deal with the trauma of her own upbringing, because it didn't just start with your mom. It started further
mm,
than
mhm.
it started even further back. Yeah, I'm gonna get your niece.
I see. I was trying to focus.
Hold on, Patty, I'm on a live, baby. Give me a
No,
minute, okay?
let me say hi to my baby. Don't do her like that. Hi,
Yeah, come.
Addie.
This
She
Loch Ness
is
monster
here.
on the side of me just going.
Hi, boo boo. I saw your little hand doing the little dinosaur stuff and all of that. I said she
Girl,
need her own YouTube channel. Give her her own
she
channel.
do. Okay, fine. I'll
Oh
let her
no,
have her
here
own.
come
You
the
know,
other
I'll
one.
be like,
Here come the other
hey,
one. She don't want me to touch her hair right now. Okay.
oh, but it's when you don't pour into your children. Now it's hi cousin here.
This is not y'all live. Get your own
Hold
channels.
on,
Okay, get
hold
your
on.
own.
Okay, hold on. Let me we're doing an important live right now. So let me finish this and then we can talk all we want. Okay. Okay. So it's listen, they driving girl. But it's like when you don't pour into your own children, you got to think about the habits of your own mother.
Mm,
Where did your mother pour into you? Did her
mhm.
mother pour into her? And that's where the generational curses start. Or
Yeah.
say, for instance, your mother had more than one child. And
Mhm.
just stop, baby. More than one child. Just for instance, I'm gonna just touch on that, not too much, because we want to keep a little something to class
Mhm,
time.
mhm,
But say
mhm,
your mother had more than one child,
mhm.
and she poured into. Say you were the oldest, you had to experience all the growth and trauma of your mother. And then your other
Mhm.
sibling came along and they got poured into all the activities in school, all the cheer, gymnastics, whatever it may have been. And you never had that opportunity, even though you wanted it, but because your mother did not have the capacity
Yeah.
to deal with you, to raise you properly, or to even support your goals and dreams, because no one ever supported her goals and dreams, or they failed. So
Mhm.
you had to internalize those parts of your mother as your upbringing. So then you carried it over to your children. And then you realize that say you had more than one child of your own, you found yourself doing favoritism for certain children and not all of your children. So that's something I'm gonna just only touch a little lightly. I'm gonna save a little bit because it gets deep. It gets real deep
It
when it
is.
comes to that.
And we have people commenting in the chat. Dr. J said
I
on
wish I could
YouTube.
see it. How do you see it? You know, I'm new
Oh,
to
no,
this.
let me tell you what it said. So Dr. J said, my mom was tired of raising kids. By the time she had her own children, she helped raise her nieces and her nephews, and she was exhausted. So yeah, don't be the elder sibling.
Yes.
Because if your mother did not understand how to create a family infrastructure that gave her the space she needed to mother, she tasked the eldest child with
Yep.
mothering the younger children.
Yep.
Malnurtured, malnurtured children, because the mother, y'all don't miss this, write this down if you don't know this when I say it. It is the mother or the matriarchal figure that teaches all children, whether male or female, what their value is.
Yep.
When a child in their formative years is malnurtured, okay, they begin to program subconsciously that they are not significant. And if you're in the woman's circle of empowerment, y'all know what I decreed right before 2025 rolled in. I was chanting every day and had the whole circle chanting, I fully accept my significance in the world. Put that in the chat if you want some of that energy.
Yes. I fully
Fully,
accept my
not partially,
in the war.
not partially. I fully accept my significance in the world. Why? You cannot actualize your full potential and power if you cannot see yourself correctly. One of my favorite daily prayers is, God, let me look at myself and see myself the way you see me. Because any other perspective is going to dictate the day. Your life right now is a reflection of your thoughts, your choices, and your actions. Hey, Phoenix, your life, what happened with your credit score? I'm gonna just go there for a second. Just Nemesis just gas me
Oh
up a little.
yeah.
Let me just dig
Let's
into it a
go.
little bit. You know how I
Let's
am.
go. Let's
Everything
talk about
going
that.
on with your credit score right now, everything going on with your blood pressure levels, everything going on with your yoni right now, everything going on in your love life, everything going on with your children and your grand, it is a reflection of your thoughts, your choices, and your actions. But what about white supremacy? Or what about this system? What about what my great uncle brought into the bloodline? But you're here right now. Put in the chat, be here now. If you don't give yourself the power, then who has it? Who's in control of your life?
Right.
So
Yep.
the only way out, the only path of deliverance or salvation, if that's what you're seeking, it's on
Stop
you.
waiting on people to validate your suffrage.
Ooh. That's how you feel tonight, Nemesis. That's how you feel.
That's how I'm
You gonna
feeling
drop that
tonight.
off.
Like, like I wasn't gonna say it, but I was, stop waiting on people to validate your suffrage. Stop waiting on somebody to be like, give you that satisfaction of, oh, woe is me. Okay, you've gone through this enough. It was such a horrible thing. Now, okay, well, guess what? We're here. We love you. No, stop validating your suffrage. Why not? Why not explore your victories instead?
Yeah. Because what you focus on gets bigger, right?
It does. What you dwell on, what you will give life to. If you're
Mhm.
constantly dwelling on the fact that you didn't finish college, but yet you've had 20 years to go back and finish and you chose not to, you can't blame nobody else but yourself. Why? I had my son. Okay, but your son, after 18 years, you still had the opportunity to go back and do the last 3 years of your degree and finish, but you want to blame it on your son? Sit down.
What does that do though? Because listen, now you get into my shit, right? Because I was raised by, no, this is good. I was raised by an over loving, over giving mother, right?
Mhm.
And I remember that after my father transitioned, my biological father died when I was 1. He drowned in the Mississippi. And
Mhm.
my mother had an agreement with my dad that he was in the military, that he would go to school and advance his career first while she was home with the children. And she would wait to complete her education and do some of the things she wanted to do until he finished his, and then they would switch it out, right? But then he died. And my mother never reclaimed her dreams. She then did this. She made her children her dreams.
Mhm.
So when I started growing up and coming into my womanhood, it was no longer about my development. It was about my life being the container for what she did not accomplish.
Right? The bi curiousness.
I had to rebel and abandon my mother.
Mhm.
And I remember when I was going through making that decision, my Baba would always say to me, "You are so powerful." Oh, this is going to help somebody tonight. He would say, "You are so powerful, Tamer, that you have become your mother's teacher."
Yes. The
If
grasshopper is not the sensei.
if it doesn't flip, then you're not holding the mantle to advance your bloodline. It must flip.
Absolutely. It
And
has to.
everything that you didn't get from your mama, you must master the art of giving it to yourself,
Mhm.
that you can be who she is not. Even if you had a great mother, it's not all about everybody suffering, but you still came through her womb. You are the better extended version, right? So you have to make the necessary decisions. Put that in the chat. I'm ready to make the necessary. Put the necessary in all caps. I am ready to make the necessary decisions. It's not negotiable anymore. Come on in. I'm ready for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna share a little something. You came from an overbearing level. I came from one that was young, unsure, didn't know how.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother, when I came along, she was still in high school. You know, she was still trying to figure herself out, figure out everything. So I grew up with my mother.
Mm,
As I became an adult, you know, I noticed some flaws in her own behavior and how she mothered me versus how she mothered my sister. I am the eldest.
mm-hmm.
um, so there was some situations there that I realized during my own childhood that I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna be like my mother.
Okay.
Um, Even when family was like, oh, you're not a good mother, all these things, like really putting me down, I realized that I actually was. I made the choice to not be like my mother because I don't want my kid to be like me. I want them to be better than me.
Mm-hmm.
So I feed into them the encouragement, the love that I never received. And this is me being personal.
Yeah.
I I encourage Black girl therapy, baby, because a lot of these traumas we need to ventilate. We need to we need to get them off our chest. We need
Yes,
to
we.
talk to somebody about them because at the end of the day, our mothers were young mothers, or we have mothers who have husbands, or we have mothers who just decided they don't want to do this shit. They just gave them us away. And there's a lot of people who don't have the correct closure or understanding. But the thing is, you can't stay there.
No, you got to move.
Once you find out the reason what it was, you gotta be the change that you've always wanted. You gotta be the friend, the mother, the lover that you've always wanted to be. But once again, it all starts back with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would never forget. It was literally about five years ago. I had gotten a Tesla, and I went and got my mother, and I was driving to my sister's house, and me and my mother got into it about something probably very small. I can remember that much, very small. And The first thing my mother says out of her mouth as I'm leaving is, "You're doing your best not to be like me."
Mm.
And I sat back and I looked at my mother. I said, "Isn't that the point? Is
Hmm.
to not be like you, but to excel you, to break the curses that were passed down to me because you chose not to do the work on you." And the
Mhm.
moment I said that, she became enraged. And it was a knockdown dream scratch. Like,
Why do you think she that did it for her? Why do you think she got so angry?
well, I think a part of my success triggered her because my mother isn't, don't get it wrong. My mother is amazingly talented. She is
Mhm.
a writer out of this fucking world, but she let the world sidetrack her and basically elude her of her own dreams. And I felt like she gave up on so many things that she really could have been, should have been, because she was around the wrong set of women.
Let me
She
ask you.
had no support from her own family. She
Let me
had no
ask
support from, go ahead,
you. Ooh, you stirred something up.
come on with it.
Do you
No,
think? Do you think sometimes when we have these experiences with our mothers, we lean into judgment? Because I wonder if she had accomplished all of her dreams, if it would have left enough space for your power to fully activate as the one that came through her womb. Would it have
I
left
am.
enough room for you to come and bring what you're bringing into the bloodline if your mother had actually did all the things you think she should have done?
I don't think so.
Mm,
I don't think so. It's me and my youngest sibling,
okay.
and I noticed like kind of like my mom put all the eggs in one basket, and Auntie Cleo, I know you're here. I can feel you. That that woman right there, she told my mother, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket because that one right there gonna be great one day, and you're gonna regret how you treated her." And as I
Mm,
became an adult, I realized that like I even told my mama like, it was like last year, I said, "Mama, I forgive you.
oh
I
yeah.
forgive you and I love you for not knowing the things that you should have known today. I forgive you for not being the mother that you were never taught how to be because your mother was never the mother that she should have been either."
Yeah.
I told my own mother this thing. I said, "Mama, the problem wasn't you. The problem was just your upbringing. The problem, you came in the world with these gifts, these talents, and everything that should have been nurtured and poured into. But you grew up in an environment where you were not allowed to blossom. You were a rose that never grew from the concrete, but yet you were a lotus that could have came through the mud. But she was so busy trying to please everyone else instead of pleasing herself." And the lesson for me this lifetime was to learn to love myself more and to stop pleasing other people. Stop being afraid to step out there in that spotlight. Stop allowing things from my past to stop me from living in my truth and living out my dreams and being a light, like a lighthouse to other people in this world as well who may have needed to hear my story.
Yep.
Because there's a bunch of women out there who got mothers who have said probably something similar to them, if not colder. Imagine being a 14-year-old girl and your mother telling you that she fucked up with you. But that's why she stopped pouring into you.
Mm.
Hold on one second. These two siblings back here. Hey, 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 I'm on a live, y'all. I'm on a live and close that door. No, go on. Oh, shoot, your baby activated. Your baby activated.
Oh, when he hear my voice.
Go watch it in your room. Go watch it in your room. I'm on a live, honey. I'll fix it
What
in
you're
a second. Let me
saying,
get off the live with PT, okay? And then I promise I'll fix it.
what you're
Come on.
saying is so good because literally it just seems like the most powerful souls go through so much adversity. And I think that's because Earth is the classroom. Like this is the place you come when you need to know yourself, master yourself, and be yourself. Have you gotten to the phase in your journey, Nemesis, where you're okay with the parts of your mother that you are?
Absolutely.
Yeah. How did you get
Absolutely.
there?
I realize every day that I am like my mother in so many ways.
After all that effort, I ain't gonna be like
After,
you.
after all that effort, but I am so but the thing is, I am both her shadow and her light.
Ashe.
And I hope that somebody who knows my mother is watching this and
Yeah.
letting them know that I still speak highly of my mother because she is my mother.
Hmm.
I will never, I don't care how much I may have gone through, that is still my mother.
Hmm.
And I understand my mother in the times and the things that she may have gone through. Mama, I don't hold no resentment, baby. And you know that to my core. The
Ashe.
bad part about it is that there are so many people that don't even know self forgiveness, let alone forgiveness of their parents.
I don't think we can cleanse the bloodline and bring in the blessings without the integration. Everybody put
You
integration
have
in
to.
chat. You
You
have
have to.
to not only accept your own, this is the order it should go, in my opinion. And y'all could tell me in the comments if you agree. First, you have to be that black sheep. You have to opt out of the patterns you recognize in your bloodline that you don't want, right? To repeat. But then after you do that, what you do in your own self acceptance journey should be so potent that you can come back and witness the patterns and now decide what you're going to keep discarded and what you're going to keep and use to advance things forward. That's the integration. So not only will your self acceptance, and here's my definition of self acceptance, y'all can put this in the chat. Self acceptance is integrating your light and darkness. To reject any aspect of yourself is a subtle form of self betrayal. And when you do those things, you begin to wrestle with yourself and you begin to spark these internal wars because you wish you were anything other than what you are. And some people glorify that as a form of motivating yourself, but actually a better, more potent vibration to activate your power is radical self acceptance. So, acceptance is the ability to integrate your light and your darkness. So, when you do that for yourself, you can give it to others. When you've embraced your light and your shadows, you can look at grandma, you can look at your mother, you can look at your family and say, oh, okay. But it's going to be difficult to make peace with your lineage, your bloodline,
Yes.
and you ain't got
Yes.
peace within. You can't give
Right.
what you don't have.
You can't give
I
what
got
you
a
don't
witness in the chats.
have.
Put an exclamation mark if you agree. So that's why it all begins and ends with you. That's something else my Baba would say to me almost every day when we would speak. He would say, "Baby," he a country boy. He used to put creases in his jeans, and his piece of
Set them up to
amethyst
start,
almost
baby.
over
Set
his
them up to
belly
start.
button. Them southern ones, honey. Listen.
Don't be, but I know.
I said, why are you starching jeans in the 2000s? Like, come on, Baba. But listen, he would always say, baby, it all begins and ends with you.
It does. It's always that one that comes along and says, "Look, you don't get to pour into my cup."
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. I don't want them same toxicities. I don't want them same addictions. I don't want that same those same feelings and emotions. I hold that shit for you.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to start something anew in this bloodline. I'm not going to allow you to unscrew my top and pour your toxicity into me. No, no.
And look, that's so good because you get to have your own cup in the
Yep.
room.
Yep.
So you got some people with this black sheep syndrome. That's what I like to call it, where I get why you had to isolate yourself because some families are really that toxic and abusive. I understand that.
Yes.
But then
Yes.
there's some people who are using isolation as a scapegoat.
Yes.
And what it has created in our community in particularly is living in a bubble and being
Mm-hmm.
critical with what it means to be a family and do community.
So let me tell you my definition of the black sheep. When you ready, I'll jump in. I'll
No,
double
go
dutch
ahead,
with
get
you. Let
into
me
it.
know. Let me know. Okay, so when I hear black sheep, you know
Mhm.
what I tell people? You ain't a
What?
black sheep if you ain't making no money. You ain't a black sheep if your life ain't different from everybody else's. You ain't a black sheep if you isolate yourself. Black sheep don't isolate, baby. We don't isolate. We regulate and we continue to preservate, but we don't isolate.
Mm-mm.
Black sheep, it is our primary goal and focus to be different than the family that we come from by any and every means necessary, and every box is checked off. Y'all don't understand. If you're gonna be the black sheep, most black sheeps are the wealthy ones in the family. Most
Mhm.
black sheeps got their shit together. Most black sheeps are doing the work on they self mentally, physically, and emotionally and spiritually.
Mhm.
Most black sheep are getting themselves into alignment with their destinies, with their feminine energies or masculine energies. They are integrating, there's that word, they are integrating in
Mhm.
themselves what was never integrated into them. They are literally tooling up that ground and putting the seeds of what they want to see grow in their lives down. They're not allowing the toxicity of the families or the dynamics or relationships or any of these things to stop them from growing and progressing. That's how you know you are a black sheep. A black sheep ain't got nothing to do with the fact that you don't like your mama, cousin, baby, daddy, sister, brother, auntie, because honestly, that's a you problem, not a them problem, because they still living their life while you still holding that grudge from 2 Thanksgivings ago. That's not you being a black sheep. Let me stop myself. I don't want to get too much now. I
No,
don't want to
now
get
she
too
doing
much.
my tambourine. You preaching. That was
Hold on.
good. They in the chat like pop it, Nemesis. They gassing you up, girl. Like go off. No, that's so good though, because you know what else the black sheep does? They are meticulous with observing their impact. And how can you see
Absolutely.
how different you are when you prefer to be blind? You don't want to see nothing at all.
Absolutely.
You don't want to see how it affects your little cousins. You don't want to see how it affects your nieces and your nephews.
Uh-uh.
You just want to be gone because you just so wounded. You living through your woundedness. At some point, you get
Hmm.
old enough that you do become unbothered. You do
Yeah.
actually be okay and not
Yeah.
like so frustrated that you can't function in your
Yeah.
bloodline.
Yeah.
And functioning is different from tolerating. There is a difference.
Yeah.
I can be in the room with you with my own cup and be like, nah, I ain't drinking what y'all drinking.
Hmm.
But I'm drinking and
Yeah.
I'm here to
I'm
see if the
here.
work I'm doing on myself is changing this room that I'm in, that I was born into, that I chose before I even entered my mother's womb. I said, give me that mommy and give me that daddy and everything that comes with them. And then I came. And now I'm remembering that I chose this shit. I signed up for it. But I am here for the power. I'm not here to be weak. Black sheep people they don't like mediocrity.
Mm-mm.
They
Nope.
don't like wimpiness. They don't like complaining. They too busy changing the pattern.
Yeah. We don't mind confrontation. We don't mind confrontation. And the thing is, we don't do confrontation. We first of all, we don't mind confrontation. And you come for us, we will not hold back, no
Well,
hesitation.
answer.
Definitely for sure. You allowed to come on in the room and we gonna serve you is what you came here to eat. Because we've learned to utilize our emotional intelligence. We've learned to use our words and articulate them very well.
I love
Black
it.
sheeps, we are often the smartest, but the most quiet in the room. We sit back and we'll watch from afar the behaviors of everybody else and have a full analysis and diagnosis before we leave of anybody and everybody. We
What
gonna
we
know
just
your
saw.
life better than you before you know your own life. Like, oh yes, yes, she got daddy issues. Oh, he dealing with mama drama. That's why he acting the way he is with the woman right there. And he don't even know her. Like we have dissected you and be like, all right, so this is what we're gonna deal with today, and this is how we're
Mhm.
gonna deal with it because we thought it in ourselves first.
Yeah.
We thought in our own environments, and it's like people really got to sit back and take into take a note. Observation until you reach your destination.
That's
We need
good. Put
to
that in the chat,
observe.
y'all. Observation until you reach your destination.
Observation until you reach your destination. That was, I actually remember that from a professor in my chem physics class. I back in the day, I took a standardized test and I took an IQ test, and I was 1.5 points of being a physicist genius on the United States roster of the top 10 smartest people in America when I was a teenager, 14 years old. I've been in college since then. I play dumb very well. But what people don't understand is to play dumb is to observe. When someone, one way to test somebody is to see how they treat you when you seem as if you do not know. That's a level of emotional intelligence. When you sit back and you observe, you know where you're trying to get to. You walk into a room and you see there's a person over that you really want to talk to, but you notice how people are acting toward him. And each and every person that walks up to him, they want to get a picture, or they want to get to know him, or they want to utilize his resources. But every time they walk up to him, they're acting over ecstatic, and they're just really, oh my God. And you're sitting back and observing how he's like, next, next. Once you have observed that, and your target is to connect with this person, so that because you want to find out how his mind thinks, or the resources that he may be able to put you in contact with, or whatever the situation may be. But you've seen that I can't approach this person the same way that everybody else has been approaching them. Why is that? Because everybody has approached him, he's turned down because they were acting a certain way. So now you have analyzed your target. You've analyzed your destination. You've analyzed where you need to go. So I don't know why I keep saying connection. I just buffering.
We can hear you fine on this end.
Okay. It just kept popping up on my side. I don't know what that means, but hey,
Maybe
okay.
the Wi-Fi connection.
But I stay in the sticks and in the woods, so it's very possible. But when I look at,
now it froze. See, we spoke it into existence. Dang. I'm so silly. Yeah, Phoenix, I was thinking the same thing. I don't know if y'all are familiar with an app called Headway, but you can read, and they give you audio books. You can read several books a day, and they give you the summary of the entire book. But I'm going through literally the 48 Laws of Power right now. And I was getting ready to pull it up and read the very part that Nemesis was touching on. Hopefully she can come back in once her connection reestablished. Y'all just give her a second. But I'm going to read this piece from 48 Laws of Power. Hold on. It's Law 21. Y'all put this in the chat. Law 21. Look dumber, be smarter. No one likes to think their opponent is more intelligent. Acting dumber will put them at ease and hide your true strength, and your intentions will remain secret. Yep. Hold on, y'all. She coming back in.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Now it's three of us in here. Like, hey, Sal, hey.
Right? But listen, we was talking about you while you was gone, but I like to say it to your face, right? But Phoenix and I were in the chat and saying how what you was describing, and she put it in the chat before I could say it, comes from Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. And so I was reading to them Law 21, which says, look dumber, be smarter. No one likes to think their opponent is more intelligent. And acting dumber will put them at ease and hide your true strength. Your intentions will remain secret. Listen, when you really are becoming more whole, you're really healed, you become a strategist. You become mindful and intentional about how you move, what rooms you place yourself in, how you perceive, interpret, and react to things. You move with wisdom. And there's a weight. You walk heavy on the earth. There's a weight to your step and your movements that everybody can feel because it's well thought out. You have emotional discipline. This is how you become the one that brings the blessings into your bloodline. This is how you become greater than what you've received. This is how you stop waiting for anybody other than yourself to change your life. And you begin to be the God of your life and say, oh, okay, God has given me everything I need to do greater and be greater. I'm going to stop acting like I don't know that. And if I really know it, I'm going to wake up with intentionality every day and I'm going to make decisions. I'm going to think the thoughts. I'm going to make the choices that reflect, I really believe this about myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I concur. I agree. Absolutely.
I love this.
Absolutely.
We are actually helping people transition out of this winter energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Put it
we're
down.
going
It's
to
medicine for her.
offer, we're
It's
going to
almost
offer
medicine for her heart.
a 4-week container. All right. It's going to lead into spring equinox. We done called it not your mama's home training. And we're going to give you 21 days of divine
One day.
feminine integration.
Divine feminine integration. Hey.
You're going to get to break every toxic relationship pattern that you have
Yep.
because
Yeah.
those wounds that you inherited is particularly through your matriarchal bloodline have a direct
Yep.
impact on your relationships. So you're going to
They
learn
do.
how to step into your divine feminine power. And we're going to dismantle toxic Black femininity. And we're going to talk about that on our next slide because I want to get into it. And we ain't got time tonight, but we're going to get into it. And we're going to talk about the things that's keeping you stuck, like aggression,
Ooh.
emotional shutdowns,
Yay.
martyrdom, right?
Yo.
And you're going to get 4 weekly group coaching calls with Nemesis and I. They're going to be held on Thursdays from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, starting February 27th. You're going to
Hey,
also
hey, hey,
get
hey.
some deep self-awareness and shadow work. It's going to help you harmonize your light and dark. You're going to get
Yeah.
some soul shifting discussions in the Facebook group. Let the Wound Be Heard. Y'all know we like to pop in there and talk about how we're processing these things. You're going to also get a copy of my 21 Prayers for Divine Feminine Integration ebook. I have never released this. I'm doing this exclusively for y'all, and y'all going to love it so that you'll have that foundation spiritually of what do you need to be programming into your life through your afoshe, through your words. You're going to also get Nemesis deck, the Light and Shadow Oracle and Tarot deck, which is your personal guide to, am I in my light energy right now? Am I in my shadow? What am I trying to integrate? What am I trying to learn? And it is gorgeous. I done already had a reading with it and I love it. I want mine first. So yeah, everybody's gonna get their Oracle and Tarot deck as well. We start this process Thursday, February 27th, and it concludes literally Thursday, March 20th on the spring equinox. So for 21 days, you'll be with a community of women who are of like mind and spirit and on a similar journey as you, who are trying to find their way. Spring is coming. Look at my baby, y'all. Look at her. That's my baby. Look, Anya done claimed him too. She said, hey, nephew. We all know who he is now. He hears us talking. He's like, oh, okay, what my auntie's up to?
No matter if I be having a conversation and the phone be on regular in my ear, as soon as he know it's you on the phone,
That's my baby.
hello. Don't do that,
What
Pumpkin.
you doing? Hey, boo.
The most say hi.
So let me give y'all the link. Olivia's asking for the link. It is thewombsauna.com/events. Okay, if you want to register and come into this container, it is an incredible experience that I can't wait to share with you all. We're going to always do things that are going to empower you, strengthen you. Our assignment is to hold the space, give you the tools, be your sacred witness, and watch you work your magic. And it is an honor for me that what I get to do with my life every single day is watch women transform their lives. I know the journey personally of having to recognize the patterns in my bloodline and make the pivot to bring something different. And it takes courage. And I would never wish for anybody to take that journey in isolation. You're going to need to be fortified. You're going to need some women that understand the journey you're taking. You're going to need some support, some tools. You're going to need a place where you can cry, snot, laugh, woo-saw, and just refuel so you can get back to your life and plant your feet and do what you said you're going to do and deliver the results to your life that you said you would, so that those coming behind you can see that there is a woman in their bloodline who does live her dreams and does do what she says she's going to do and does it with honor and with joy, even when it's hard. Right? So this is why we're bringing this to you. If you're interested, put interested in the comments. Say, oh, this resonates with me. If this kind of container, I didn't even realize until I was talking to Nemesis the other day, and we was thinking about when we wanted to organize the timeline. And I was like, girl, we are less than 30 days away from spring. I said, rebirth season is coming in. I want to make sure the sisters are prepared for this energy, because 2025 is a historical year in world's history. We will be talking about this year for ages. Some incredible magic is flowing and pumping through. And so all of the stuff you've been downloading in winter, all of the messages, all of the shifts, all of the pivots, all of this stuff, we want to help you activate fully for spring. So go to thewombsauna.com/events and let's get you. Look, Olivia in the comments saying she done already signed up, Nemesis. Olivia's in. Christy's in. Anya said, yes, this is resonating. It's saying Facebook user. It's not giving me the name on Facebook, so I don't know who that is, but I'm going to go over to Facebook and see who it is that's saying they interested. The sisters are coming. It's a vibe. Listen, don't come into the container and be afraid to be seen. Trust us. Let us see you. Let us love on you. Let us hold this space for you. Let us do this for you.
This is how the best way I can put it. This is the sisterhood, and this is the sisterhood that's going to hold you accountable, but at the same time helps to elevate you to where you need to be. It ain't about what it look like. It is what it is, and that's the difference between all the others that are out there who are claiming these sisterhood and doing these interviews, doing all these things. It's about what it is. Because I'm sorry, I'ma just speak on it. For people to claim sisterhood, but allowing toxic people who are not of the feminine progression, basically are female misogynists who are sitting here claiming that, oh, they're for the empowerment, uplifting of women, but completely do the exact opposite. You can't thrive in safe spaces like that. So we come in and ours is authentic. Like, that is the purpose of authenticity here. It ain't about what it looks like. It is what it is. We make that shoe a little hard and a little tough because we rough around the edges ourselves. But sometimes you gotta hear it. You gotta hear it from somebody who done been through it, really trying to uplift you, for you to actually understand what you need to do for yourself.
I love that you say that too, because sometimes I think we are addicted to wanting change outside of our or inside of our comfort zone, right? So when my personal trainer was like, you keep complaining about that loose skin on your arm, I'm gonna need another set, Tamer. I'm gonna need you to do another rep for me. And it's uncomfortable and it's tearing down and breaking down the muscle. I know I'm gonna be sore tomorrow. I know it's not gonna feel good, but I'm about to have those Angela Bassett arms though, right? Like, so it's better to choose your sacrifices up front than to get cornered with your adversity. And now you're in crisis. And now you don't have no choice but to face it. It's better to be proactive. It's better to say, you know what? I know my finances aren't in order. I know my health is not in order. And instead of just ignoring it and leaning into avoidance, I'm going to come and I'm going to dedicate 4 weeks leading up to this spring equinox energy. I'm going to rebirth my life. I'm ready for a breakthrough. I'm ready for change, God. I've been praying, but I need some action to match my faith that I can change. I need some help. I need some fuel, right? And yes, we will have you look at the blind spots. And that's the advantage of sisterhood. Because sometimes your sister can see what's in your, what they call it, your peripheral vision. You get ready to change lanes and you don't see it's a whole truck right there you about to run into. That's the power of sisterhood. When you are successfully surrounded with the women of like mind and spirit, they can see what God is seeing for you. They can see those blind spots and they'll alert you and say, hey, yo, sis, every time I talk to you, this is the narrative you're talking. This is what I always hear you looping. And do you realize you might need to do a sacred word fast, sis? Because your life is going to obey your word and you're not speaking the life. You're not speaking the vision. You're not in the right frequency. But if you live in your bubble inside your head all by yourself all day long, you don't even realize sometimes the ways that you are interfering with the cultivation of everything that you desire. So I can't wait to meet y'all. Again, go to thewombsauna.com/events. Come get this home training that's not your mama's. That's even bigger. We will help you integrate. We will help you integrate and merge these layers. We'll help you. We'll hold you. We will never bring something to your awareness that we ourselves don't have capacity to walk through with you. We not them girls. We not the type of teachers where I'm going to bring all this stuff up, but I can't walk none of this out with you. Nah, we don't do that. If we bring it, we're ready to journey with you through it. And that is the integrity that we bring in our sisterhood. No sister left behind. Any sister that chooses to opt out, that's her decision. We respect it. We love her anyway. But we don't abandon. We say, "Ooh, okay, sis walked into this with a lot, didn't know? Let me go ahead and strengthen my lips so we can help walk through this with her." We are not intimidated by your wounds. We are not intimidated by your trauma. We have been there and we have gone through hell. So I can tell you when it's time to turn left or make a U-turn. I got a throne there. You know what I'm saying? I got a throne in heaven. I got a throne in hell. I know how to traverse through both. And we just want to be able to offer you that love and preparation for the spring. We them girls. So I hope to see y'all there. We have another live coming. Nemesis, I don't have my calendar up. Do you remember the second date? Oh, she with my nephew and he is on her head, literally.
I think it was the 27th, I believe. The 27th also.
So y'all make sure y'all got y'all notifications on, your subscribe. We're coming back for part 2 of this conversation. We are going to continue it.
He said, yeah, make sure you do that.
He said, make sure you do that. That's our PR guy. Okay. So thank you.
Yeah, make sure you do that. Shiny, shiny.
Okay, I'll make sure. I'll make sure I'm there. So yes, we're going to continue this conversation because part two, I really want to get into toxic Black femininity. We always talk about the goddess and all that, and that's great. We need to talk about the Holy Mother and embodying the divine feminine. But I also don't want anybody to be blind and being able to recognize toxic femininity and toxic feminine teachings because those are just as ravenous and ratchet, and we got to counter some of that with some wisdom, right? So that's all we got for y'all tonight. Nemesis, anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Not really. You know, we good. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, because Sage is like, mommy, get off this live. We got stuff to do.
Not. Like, hello, do you see me? Do you
He said,
see
if I
me?
jump on your head, you get off this live. I
Listen,
love
one
you,
thing I
sister.
can
I
say
love
is
you,
I love
nephew.
my children, all of them. I love every last one of them. And one thing I'm very who don't do that. One thing I'm very proud of right now is the fact that I make sure they don't kill these kids every day.
Amen. Give
I
God
make sure
praise.
they make it. I make sure they make it. Like,
They be
oh
working you,
my
honey.
God.
But I love your
They do,
family.
baby.
I
But at the
love
same time, I
you.
wouldn't regret it.
Phoenix
You
said
know,
thank you for
mommy, we are
sharing. She said you're an
everything.
awesome mommy. They showing you love in the
Oh,
chat. They said you're an
thank
awesome
you.
mom. Mm-hmm.
I'd be
All right,
trying.
y'all. Y'all go drink some water. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Catch us. And make sure that if this resonates with you, that you go ahead and complete your enrollment. Have a good night. Love you. Bye.
Mwah.